You haven't seen me, okay? I'm on the run from Justin Timberlake. It's okay, I can talk to you now. So, this is a Money inspirACTION all about the film In Time with Justin Timberlake. Have you seen it? I hope you have, because I watched it a couple of weeks ago and it actually completely twisted my brain. And what I want to share with you in this video is really going to speak to you if you've ever felt like there's this never-ending cycle of worry about money, or this never-ending worry that's just always there about it. So the film is about this different reality where everybody can live to the age of 25, but what happens is when they get to 25, their bodies drop down dead unless they've earned more time. So everyone goes to work in order to get units of time which keep them alive. And nobody tends to have more than a day's worth of time on their clock. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, that's why I've got this huge clock on my forehead. And they all have stopwatches like this that I handily prepared earlier. So you're thinking, well, what's that got to do with anything, Sandy? And well, it has a lot actually, because it's a science fiction film, but when you watch it, it's like an amazing illustration of what goes on here on planet Earth. You might have already guessed that by where I'm going with this. But in this film, you know, the main character, played by Justin Timberlake, he works in a factory. He's never got that much time on his clock. He's always worrying. He eats really fast. You know, everyone in that reality, they even have clothes that unzip fast and they walk around fast because they don't want to run out of time. And one day he meets someone who has a century of time on his clock, and Justin Timberlake can't understand that. He's like, why has this guy got so much time? And the guy tells him that there's this other whole zone within that reality where people don't have limited amounts of time, where people can have unlimited amounts of time, and they have decades and decades, and people have centuries, and they even have like millions of years of time. And yeah, you just guessed it. Well, you know, what does that sound like? Does that sound like our reality? Yes, it does. And in the film, he gets really angry about this and decides to change the system. And I'm going to stop telling you what happens right there, because that's as much as you'll see in the trailer, which I'll put in the blog. And, you know, watch it for yourself to get the real sense of the film. But I'm quite a visual person, and maybe you are, maybe you're not. But it really helped me to see our planet from almost like a bird's eye view, and to see how crazy it is that so many of us live in this system where it's so normal just to go and get a job that will just about pay your bills, just about allow you to get by. And yeah, there are jobs that pay a lot of money, but often you have to work a hell of a lot to get that money, and it's not exactly the norm, is it? I mean, think about the people you know, the people that you grew up around, your friends. You know, like I know that for most of my friends I was at school and at college, university with, most of them have gone into jobs, most of us did, into situations where you're working all the time, and yeah, you have money, but you never have, you know, you couldn't just go off for a month to Jamaica, or you couldn't just buy your mum a diamond necklace because it was her birthday. You know, you'd have to really budget that in advance. And when I watched that film, I was like, this is so crazy. And I thought that before, and you probably have too, but before I always saw it from a very different way of seeing it. Like I used to be very active with left-wing politics, and I campaigned against poverty. I studied development at university, you know, like why countries are rich, why some are poor. And I was obsessed with this idea of inequality and the fact that there's people who have loads of money and people who don't have money. But what I realized is that I kept going around in circles. It's like when you see things like that, it's like you always see the resources of the earth as a big pie, and you're pissed off because you don't think the pie's been divided up the right way. And what I've realized since is really on this journey of exploring all of this that I've been on for the past few years, is there's loads of pies. You don't have to just have one pie. I mean, who made that up? I just don't buy that anymore. Like, I see people I know getting very rich, and it doesn't mean that people who are very rich get poorer. You know, what if there are unlimited amounts of money out there? It's just that most people don't think there are, so they don't even look for it, which is exactly what happens in the film. So I feel like we're all a lot of people are sleepwalking with this reality that doesn't really make them very happy. You know, how many people do you know don't really like their jobs, or get ill quite often, or always stressed? And I know tons of people like that. I used to see them every single week in my Zumba classes. And this is getting a bit long, so I'll wrap it up soon. But you know, one thing that did spring to my mind is I'm so happy to have found network marketing, which is where this might sound like a cheesy advert, which it actually isn't. But it's so linked in that I had to talk about it, because I'm reading a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and in that T. Harv Eker, he takes you through, you know, how rich people think, how poor and middle class people think, and you know, there's no judgment of any of it. It's just awareness of how people function. And one of the things that rich people do is they don't rely on their work to make them money. You can't get rich like that. You know, they have other sources of income. They have properties, they have investments, they have stock market stuff, they have businesses. And he talks about network marketing as a great way to create different sources of income for yourself that don't need you to physically show up for them to work. And because of the network marketing system, where you know, whatever you do, you set it up, and then people can buy it at any time. And that's what I've been doing for the past 6-7 months, and it's really lightened up my whole world, because this kind of never-ending worry of money that I've had, even when I had money coming in, that's the weird thing. Even when I had money coming in, I still had the never-ending worry. And I'm pretty sure that some of you watching this will relate to that. And you know, you need to read the book as well, because it will explain that. And this is what I've been hearing in the Empower Hour, this call that I listen to every Monday. It's in the Empower Network. It's called The Inner Circle. It's amazing, life-changing MP3s. And you know, it's just opened my mind to a different way of living, where you don't have to always show up to be paid. Okay, so if you're still in a model where that's the main way that you get money, I'm not saying root it out, but if that's the only way you're getting money, then you've always got to be at work. And what if that wasn't true? What if there's like this whole other way of living, like in the film, but just people close their eyes off to it, or when you tell them about it, they think that it's totally unrealistic, or it doesn't work, or it's a scam. And I just think it's a really limited way of seeing the world. So I'm on a mission to change that. I'd actually like to create a youth organization that educates young people about how money works, about how to not end up in debt, or how to not end up living with a constant stress of money. And that's where something I'm going to be doing in the next few years. So I will keep you informed about that. But ending this up now, watch the film, read my blog below, which has more about this. And you know, if you don't have other ways to have income come to you, then take a look at the Empower Network. It might not be for you, but if it is, I know for a fact that it works. You know, I was having a nap 2 weeks ago, not even that, like a week ago, and I had money come into my account, like $1,000, whilst I was taking a nap. I went on holiday. My monthly income increased by around like $200 or something like that. You know, I wasn't even working on the business, and it was still growing. And that's because I've put in place systems which can do that. And I think everyone, and it doesn't have to be the system I use, but I think everyone should have some kind of way to make it easy to receive money. Otherwise you're just setting up to live like those people in the film, and that's not a fun way to live. Been there, done that, not doing it anymore. So watch the film. If you got something out of this, tell me in the comments, like it on YouTube, and share it on Facebook, share it with your friends, and let's change the reality that we live in, because I just know something else is possible. See ya.